Hey guys, I'm going to be making a 12 by 12 layout today, and it's going to be a travel layout, and I'm going to be taking these 4 3x4 photos and turning them into elongated Polaroids using some dies from the Spellbinder's new card creator series of dies. They're actually to make mats on cards, but they work really well also for making frames, so I'm just putting a small one inside a larger one. I'm lining them up at the top so that they'll have a wider space at the bottom like a Polaroid would. And then I'm just going to hold them together with painter's tape when I run them through my Big Shot. And then I found this out the hard way. You can see there's some white cardstock on the painter's tape. Because I'm using a really thick cardstock, I have to run it through twice. And that really stuck the cardstock down in the painter's tape. So what I would suggest is before you run it through, just take the sticky off the tape on your shirt by just sticking it to your shirt and peeling it off a few times, and that way you won't have that problem and you won't waste a piece of cardstock. So now I'm just going to continue to run all the frames through and then stick my photos behind the frames. And then I lost a little bit of video here because my computer corrupted the file. But basically what I've been doing is I've been taking tags from the Lifestyle Crafts die set Tab It kit. They have these sets of small dies called It kits, and this is the Tab It kit. Tab, like the soda from the 80s, I guess. And it makes a whole bunch of tabs and flags and things like that. It's a real great little set, and I've just been using 3 patterns of paper, an aqua, kind of a yellowish green, and a hot pink to make a variety of different tabs and flags and labels, and I'm layering them on top of each other. And I'm trying to get 1 aqua, 1 green, and 1 pink on each photo so that that repeats on each one and ties them all together. So even though they're 4 photos from 4 different countries, 4 different outfits, 4 different sets of days, that sort of thing, they'll all be tied together by being in the Polaroid style frames, and also by each having an aqua piece of paper, a hot pink piece of paper, and a yellowish green piece of paper. And these papers are from a Recollections pad from Michaels, and I tried to figure out what it was called, but I could not find a name on it anywhere. But it looks like My Mind's Eye to me, like it's part of the Sweet Caroline pad. So now I'm just continuing to build on this cluster, and I have this really ancient fabric brad from a Making Memories travel collection that says Go, which I thought would work really well here. So I just added it to the tab with the We Are Memory Keepers brad setter, which is great if you're trying to keep your nails nice, because you don't have to try and get your nail in between the 2 little feet on the brad. And in this case, I added a little snippet of hot pink to the tab at the top of this Australia picture, but I didn't like it. And so what I ended up doing is putting 2 hot pink brads on this label, which is also from the Tab It kit. And I'm actually going to wedge that under there so that the pink will come, in this instance, from those brads. And I actually really liked how that looked. So I was happy with that. And now I'm just kind of rearranging them to see how I want them. I don't actually want any of the clusters to touch each other, because I think that would be too much color all in one space. It would really draw your eye right in there, and so you'd be drawing your eye right into the corner of a photo instead of someone's face or something. So I decided I didn't have enough labels, so I ran some more through my die cutter so you can see some of the shapes that come in this kit of dies, and they're really, really cool actually. Lots of little small banners with all different shapes, different file tabs. It's a lot of fun to work with this particular set of dies. It's from Lifestyle Crafts. It's one of their It kits, and it's the Tab It kit. So I'm just going to continue to build. And this layout probably looks, after the editing, like it's coming together pretty quickly. But it made me crazy. I could barely get it finished. I have not made a layout in months, and I recently kind of reorganized the area where I scrap so that it would be more accessible. And then my friend and I went to Michael's. They were having a sale, and I got this paper pad, and all of a sudden I just really wanted to make a layout. But it's like I forgot how to scrapbook since the last time I made a layout. So I probably shouldn't have filmed the first layout I made in 4 months. But I did, which only compounded my problems, I'm sure. By the way, these titles are just printed from the computer in a handwriting font on white cardstock. And I'm just going to staple that one on. And that label shape for the Cambodia tag is also from the Tab Itch Kit. So now I'm going to just move on a little bit, and we're going to do some more die cutting, and I'm going to be using the Sizzix file tabs on the edge die to make some file tabs. And I'm going to make one file tab out of the aqua pattern paper, one file tab out of the yellow green pattern paper, and one file tab out of the pink pattern paper, so that they will reinforce those 3 colors on the photos and just kind of keep our color theme unified. And then everything else I'm keeping pretty neutral. So I have a wood grain background and a ledger background. So basically all I did is I just distressed the edges of that wood grain paper, which is from the Nameless Michaels kit. And I'm just, as you can see, putting adhesive on the back and then just kind of dropping it onto these little slivers of tab strips, and then cutting the tab strips down so that they aren't poking up where I don't want them to be poking up. And now that I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to glue it down. And even my ATG was attacking me. My scrapbook gremlins, man. Nothing but scrapbook gremlins today. And then my computer ate one of my video files. And then my audio recorder wasn't working. So now I have to use this weird audio recorder that I don't normally like. So apparently I was not supposed to make this video today, but I stuck through it. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I am going to get this done. So now I'm going to arrange the photos, and I want them not to be regimented. I want them just to kind of look like someone got back from a trip and had these 4 Polaroids and stuck them to the wall of their cabin. Is basically what I was going for. And then they had some, little labels lying around, so they labeled them. And I think I got the look that I wanted. So here we have a Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, and Cambodia picture. All those pictures together, and they all kind of go with each other. They all have the same person in them, which helps. But they have different weather, different focal points. So having those little repeated trios of color really helps. So now I have some of my road tickets, and this one has date written on it, and I want to add the date of this trip that she went on. And I'm just trying to calculate actually in my head when she went on it, and I wrote 2008, and I'm pretty sure it's 2007. So I'll have to check with her and fix it. So then I'm just looking for a place where I like this tag. I want to be actually able to read the date. And I end up liking it in the upper right corner, so I stapled it down with the tiny attacher. And then once I introduced that piece of craft and black, I wanted to get it in 2 more places on the layout. Because there's nothing like it on the layout. It's very crisp. Everything else is kind of shabby. It's very black. I don't have black anywhere else on the layout, and there's no craft anywhere else on the layout. So I end up writing another small note about who's in the photos and where they are, and putting it down there. And stapling it with the tiny attacher, I think. Yes, there we go. And then I take this other ticket that's sticking out up there. I'm just going to cut it in half because I only need part of it. And I'm going to arrange it so that 5 of the stars on the ticket poke through the gap between the blue tab and the green tab. And kind of fill in that area a little bit. See, I go up and down and up and down and up and down. Finally, I have to think, yes, there, that's where it goes. So now I like that better, and I don't have just the one lonely little craft piece. And then I'm going to speed the camera up even faster because I have a long title, Around the World, in thickers. These are glitter thickers. They're foam. They're actually really cute. I like them a lot. But it's a lot of spelling. So I'm kind of offsetting them, put some up, some down, because I don't want them to try and be perfect. And the edge of that paper is distressed and the wood is distressed and everything's kind of distressed. So they don't need to be perfect. So I'm not going to have them be perfect. And what I end up doing is I put around the, and then I figured I would do world on a second line. But as I start laying it out, when I get to the L, and the L is super tall in this set. I mean, way taller than any other letter in the set. So that kind of stumps me for a minute. And then I think about moving the world to the top line, but then the D would have been kind of hanging in outer space, floating there. It wouldn't have been grounded against that wood grain, and that would bother me. So what I end up doing is putting the L down first in the gap between the D and around and the T in the. And then I move all my other letters in world so that it works with the placement of the L, and it ends up looking completely and totally fine. I mean, it's like it was originally supposed to be there. So next, just a little bit of journaling down here in the corner. It's easy to do because there's lines on the background paper. One of the reasons why I really love ledger paper, because I can't write straight. This is a Zig marker, two-way marker. I like the fine tip on them for doing journaling, and they come in a lot of colors so you can kind of really blend them in with your layout. So I'm just writing down where the photos were taken and who was in the photos, and then I go to put the date, and I decided to hedge my bets, and I put 2007 on the journaling. So I'm gonna have to change one of them because they can't both be right. But I had pretty much figured out by the time I did the journaling that it was 2007. And now I'm taking my favorite 7 Gypsies stamp set, and I am gonna stamp. It's called Journal. It's a real big stamp set. It's A4, and it has lots of sayings in it, like facts, evidence, notes, our story, that sort of thing. So I'm just gonna stamp facts in red right over the corner of my journaling, not where it's gonna mess anything up. That's gonna pull in the red line from the ledger paper and also just add another layer there without actually adding any bulk. And that will finish off the layout.